are Hannah and Chris, two friends who met on an overlanding trip with our husbands. We've traveled alongside them on cross-country expeditions over the last couple years and decided we wanted to plan a small trip of our own. In the interest of keeping travel days short, we chose somewhere close to home in Tennessee. Follow along as our two families travel through the Great Smoky Mountains and explore America's most visited national park.
Okay, so we rolled in pretty late last night to the campsite, but we woke up this morning to actual smoke.
A bunch of smoke.
A lot of smoke. Not the kind of smoky mountains that you want. We had to do a little recon to figure out what was going on. And it turns out that there is a pretty significant fire.
Now a wildfire burning near the Tennessee state line in North Carolina is growing. Crews placed the Black Bear fire at more than 1,100 acres in zero containment.
It is unfortunately right in the heart of our trails that we were supposed to be doing today.
We took tomorrow's route and we kind of incorporated some of it into today, since we had to go the opposite direction.
And so we came towards Gatlinburg, a little bit more towards the touristy area to the front country of the national park. And we did the Roaring Fork Motor Trail, which was probably really pretty a couple weeks ago, before all the leaves fell. So a lot of changes to our plans. Me and the boys are gonna go link up with Jake. They're gonna go hit up Klingman's Dome. And then we're gonna finish the night by campfire tonight, so.
We've made it a good day.
Yeah.
We've rolled it.
And the boys are having a great time. You know, we found a creek and they're having a blast.
Klingman's Dome is the highest point in the park at 6,643 feet in elevation. As we drove along, it became pretty obvious that we wouldn't be able to see anything from the top of the lookout tower, but we wanted to hike the trail anyway. At just over a half-mile long to the top, the trail packs a serious punch, going straight uphill the entire way. We look forward to revisiting the spot on a clear day, but had a good time nonetheless.
For the Rally Rats team that's been together for a couple of years now, this is the first trip not planned by the Rally Rats men. You know, this is the first trip that's been put together, executed, planned, paid for, all by the Rally Rats women, because that's what Rally Rats is about. It's not just the guys that get together and do stuff, but it's very much family oriented and family centered. But this has been all you guys, which I appreciate, not having to do all that stuff. So, you know, what was kind of like the genesis of that? Where did that come from? And then talk to us a little bit about the planning process and the execution so far and the plans you have for us.
Yeah. We were talking, one thing that makes this team unique is that we're there for everything. Yeah. And the kids are there. And
even when we're off camera.
Yes. We did it. We made it through the whole 3-week or 2-week trip or whatever it was. And so we wanted to plan something for a few different reasons. One that was a little bit closer to home, a little bit more accessible. One that we were just a little bit more involved in. We could kind of plan out different places that we wanted to visit and kind of keep different things in mind.
Yeah, I think we realized that, like, you know, a lot of people easily neglect their own backyard, per se, and that sometimes you just don't have 2 weeks or 3 or 2 months, as some of these trips have gone on. And yet you still want an adventure. So, like, what's the solution? And it felt like this was an area of our own backyard that we had never explored. And so knowing that we're staying here in our backyard, which is the East Coast, it was like, okay, this is probably not going to be this, you know, deep, weeks-long, off-grid, dispersed camping situation where we're, like, struggling to find gas and water. And it was like, okay, outside of that, what do we want? And I think she and I both said, okay, we want an adventure that really encompasses the Smokies. We want to see the Smokies. We want to see what it has to offer. We want to feel like we got the full adventure. one of the key elements of any adventure is managing your expectations. Because every trip we've been on has been, okay, we'd like to do this, and then this is going to happen, and then this is going to happen, and then you get to that day, and it doesn't necessarily happen. Having that, you know, flexibility to like pivot and go, okay, well, we wanted to do this, but that's not going to happen. And today is a great example.
Nothing happened the way that we planned it.
Nothing.
We had a whole itinerary for today.
We did. We even had like waypoints on the, and then we had like GPS points for where we were going to go.
Yeah, you mapped out trails and
We did.
different places
We had
we were gonna go.
like a certain time.
And we even
went to
had
different
overlooks
places.
based on like the time of day. So we were going to do the
catch the
eastern
sunset,
side and
yeah.
the western side at this time. And, you know, we had done the recon on Onyx, and like we had, you know, read people's blogs on like these roads so that we knew what to expect. But even with all of that planning, we get here and wake up to a forest fire.
I think the three biggest things, what I was hearing from you guys during this conversation and then earlier at dinner when we were talking, is like, it's kind of three things. It was one, managing expectations. Two, being you don't have to drive across the country to find an adventure. You can drive 3 to 4 hours pretty much anywhere you live in the U.S. If we can do it here in Tennessee in the East Coast, you know, you can do it especially out west and other places. But the other one we talked about too was like, you don't have to spend a fortune to go out and do this stuff.
Right.
Because we tend to do that sometimes on our rigs and the stuff that we go out and do, but you don't have to. You can be very budget friendly and still go out and have a great time.
I think that's something I would want people to take away from this, is that like, if you're new to this adventure lifestyle and you want to see the world and you want to see all that nature has to offer, you don't have to wait until your rig is completed. Take it out, man.
Yeah.
Like, go see the
So
world
get out,
in
Get
it.
out in nature.
See your backyard in it.
Go different places.
Yeah. Since the weather looks like it's clearing and we got a good amount of rain last night, I think we're gonna go and try the trails near the fire. It looks like the fire has probably gone down, at least 50% in size. So we'll go from here to Big Creek Ranger Station to Buzzard's Roost, and then Pigeon River. And
We're gonna try to hit Chattahoochee.
yeah, after that, we're going to try to hit the Chattahoochee and hopefully elk. I'm really excited about the elk. So we are at Big Creek Ranger Station. Yes. We're on the easternmost side of the Smoky Mountain National Park.
We're in North Carolina.
Yeah, we're technically in North Carolina, and we're about to head up the mountain from here. The kids are loving the creek, which is absolutely beautiful here. If you are in the area, we would recommend this ranger station for sure. It's a beautiful stop off. Yeah, amazing.
As we head over the mountains toward Chattahoochee Valley, we take any opportunity to stop and check on the wildfires in the distance. Thankfully, we rely on Onyx for our navigation, as our own personal compasses can be a bit contradictory at times.
There's the sun, which means it was
That's
that's
north.
Yeah. That's east. That's west. That's north. So, wait, he's pointing in a totally different direction. What is that?
This is north.
Over there. East over there.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. The sun was there. So I did. I said the east and west. I was right. Y'all, I'm like a human map.
Traveling in late November meant that we missed the peak of colors, but we can definitely see why this is such a popular destination in the early fall. One of the things that Chris had on her list to see was elk. We went to the Cataloochee Valley in search of them and found a perfect little spot for lunch. This region is known for its abundance of wildlife, and the elk can often be seen in these open fields. The Cataloochee Valley was one of the most populated areas in what became the Smoky Mountain National Park. One of the buildings that remains from that time is the Beech Grove Schoolhouse, was built in 1901. It remained active until a few years after the park opened in 1940. As the day wore on, it was time to keep traveling to our next campsite. Just when we thought we might get through the day without any major hiccups, we remembered what we said at the campfire last night. Expect the unexpected.
So earlier today we noticed
There's a squeaky sound.
there was a squeaky sound with the
from
belts, and
Out of the car.
sounded like a pulley or a tensioner or something. Then the battery came on about an hour ago,
Yeah.
and now we're stranded by the side of the road.
One of the many benefits of traveling as a team reveals itself when something goes wrong. As we start to dismantle the GX, Jacob and Chris were able to drive to the auto parts store and bring back the alternator we needed for the repair.
Wouldn't be a trip if there wasn't, something to overcome, something to break down.
So we just finished putting in the alternator. Honestly, it went pretty quick. The biggest hurdles were just getting the skid plates out of the way just so we could get to the alternator. But went pretty quick. We got it done before it got dark, and so we're gonna pack everything up and get on to where we're staying tonight. So as far as the breakage for the day goes, this was as good as you could hope for. So thankful that it wasn't something worse and that we were able to get back up and going pretty quick. But, yeah,
So then it took what? An hour?
not bad.
Join us next time as we take a train from Bryson City to Dillsboro. Explore the caves in Tuckaleechee and navigate high winds, closed roads, and more forest fires.